Okay, so hi guys. The kids are finally asleep because it is 9:30, so thank you. Actually, it is 10:30. My bad. It says 9:30 on my computer. It's wrong. I forgot. My computer still thinks we're in Mississippi. So anyway, they are asleep. They've been asleep for about 20 minutes or so, but I had to make sure that they were good and asleep because if you start making noise when they're just getting asleep, then they don't get to the good and asleep where they're like dead to the world. They're like, oh, hey, mom's up, so let's play again. So I had to wait for a little bit. But they are finally asleep. So now the kids are asleep. The adults can play. Yay. Okay, so I went to Lowe's and I spent almost $300. Now, you're probably going to think that's crazy and maybe even a little hard to do because, most people are like, oh, we're on a budget. So, and I am on a budget, by the way. You just go in there and you get the necessities, except for I'm doing a really big project. So there are a lot of necessities. And maybe not exactly necessities, but stuff that should be considered a necessity because after sanding for so long with the little sanding block, I decided that that's fine for a small bathroom, which is what I've used it for before. Not that specific one, but that's why I went and got another one. However, because it's not a small bathroom, it's not going to be okay. So, on that note, I went to Lowe's and I bought this thing. And what this thing is a belt sander with a vacuum bag. So it collects the dust and stuff in here. This ended up being $64, plus the taxes, which apparently are like 6% up here, which is weird because it's 7% in Mississippi and 9% in Tennessee, which is, where I used to shop. So it's this thing. And I got a Craftsman because Craftsman is Lowe's brand. So if this thing breaks, I take it back to Lowe's and they replace it for 3 years. That's nice. Craftsman is, Dad basically got me started on Craftsman. And because he did, I am a very firm believer in the Craftsman brand. I hope that this thing is going to do awesome because it is 3-inch by 21 inches. 21 inches is all the way around, so that's how big the belt is. And I was told that it can do a lot of stuff in a very short period of time, which seems awesome because I need to do a lot of stuff in a very short period of time. Okay, so I got that. And then, because I don't want to, I've been using my broom to clean up, and it's not getting the best cleaned up job, because it's a little itty bitty dust, and brooms don't really like to clean that up very well. Well, see, the thing is, I don't want to ruin my $300 vacuum by doing all the, renovations and stuff like that. I still want to be able to use my vacuum for normal, everyday cleaning when I'm done with this, when my house is actually my home. So I want to be able to clean my home. So I thought that I should probably invest in one of these. Now, Dad had gotten me a shop vac before for Christmas one year, but my ex-husband decided it was his and claimed 98% of my tools, including everything that my father has bought me from when I was little, because it was like every Christmas he would get me this tool, that tool. Basically, he built up my collection so that by the time I was 18, I would have my setup, which was a great idea and it was really smart and I really appreciated it. However, I did not know that my stuff was going to go missing. So now that I'm having to rebuild, I decided on this one. It is also Craftsman. And I only got the 4-gallon because I figured I can empty it out more times if I need to, and it will keep it where it's smaller. It won't take up as much space, which for me is a good thing because I don't want anything humongously big, bulky, and taking up a lot of space. I'm done with everything taking up space. I need a lot of space now. So I got this one, and it's a wet and dry bag. It even comes with the filter bag and stuff like that, which is nice. This thing ended up being right at, it was either 48 or 45, somewhere in there. So it was under $50. I figured it was a pretty wise investment because To be honest, I've got a lot of rooms that I'm going to be having to clean, and all of the wallpaper and stuff when I'm peeling it off generally like shreds. And I don't want to have to try to vacuum up that with my normal vacuum. And it wasn't all coming up with the broom. And I know I am saying and a lot, and I am so sorry. I'm still learning how to speak properly. This is coming from somebody that you have personally seen go from a clam to somebody that's actually talking to you like we are just the best of friends, because, hey, you're my friends on here, right? Anyway, so bear with me. I also got more wood filler. Yep. This is Carpenter's wood filler, and it is $10 for 32 ounces, which is good because I need a cheap fix because, again, I'm on a budget. The only reason I invested in these tools are because they will literally last me years, and they can be used for many projects and not just the short-term projects, but long-term projects. Plus, I am actually trying to make this old colonial farmhouse into a more modern day home while still restoring it to its former glory, basically. So I figure investing in a few choice tools and whatnot is probably a good idea. The shop vac I can use, there's like 20 different projects, honestly, that come to my mind with that thing. Just seems like a really good thing to have. The sander, on the other hand, there are hundreds of projects that I could do with that. So that would give us a lot of videos. So anyway, wood filler. I ended up getting all they had, and all they had was 4, which was the plan, to be honest. So there's my other 2 wood fillers. That's to fill the gaps so that I can paint the floors, because I know that Dad doesn't like the floors painted, but I had somebody consult on the floors, and they said that this specific type of floors, they don't generally refinish them because most people don't like the way it looks, because they are the wider boards, and they're not all wide, but they're wider, and then some are about this big. But most people, when they refinish the boards, they're all this big or smaller. So originally I was just going to refinish them. I am debating trying to take the paint off of them as is and completely starting over. And maybe once I get it down to where it is, I might actually like it that way and just still fill in the gaps, to be honest, because some of these gaps are crazy big and I don't want to lose stuff, and I tend to lose stuff. Anyway, I also got this thing because my wall behind me looks like it has acne scars all over it, and I don't really want that look. So this is a paint and wall scraper. Can also be used for flooring. Yay! And I got blades too, because you never buy one thing without the other, because knowing my luck, the one that's on here, somehow, if I hadn't bought these, would break. But you generally, if you buy it, then you never actually have to use these, which is weird. But it's always a good thing to have backups just in case you need them. You can always take them back as long as you keep your receipt, if you don't use them. So if you don't need them, you don't have to waste the money on them. But if you need them, you have them. I also got plumber's thread tape, a S thingy for my sink in the bathroom, as well as the drain kit for the sink in the bathroom, because it's a really old sink and I want to try to fix it before I just decide that I have to rip it out and replace it with a modern day sink, because it is a really old sink and it looks original to the house. So I would really love to save it if I can, but it is leaking so bad that it is flooding my floor anytime you turn the water on. I found that out when I cleaned the sink the first time live. Y'all saw it flood everywhere. I freaked out a little bit. I cleaned the floor, got all the water up, and then I just left it alone because I was going to figure out what to do with it. Well, I had a friend come over actually two friends, my very first friends that I made in Pennsylvania. Okay, two, Miss Danielle and Mr. Tom. They are married. They have two of the cutest little kids, and they are sweethearts. Okay, they went out of their way to help me when I was in a really sticky situation. And I am in their debt for that. They are just great people. They are awesome. I'm going to stop talking about it now. But their little girl came upstairs and she had to go pee, and I didn't think anything of it. So I didn't think to warn her, hey, you can go potty up here, but you can't wash your hands here. You have to wash your hands downstairs or use the downstairs bathroom if you don't want to have to potty in one spot and go wash your hands in another. Well, I forgot to warn her. So her being a little girl that doesn't think, okay, I'm about to flood the whole bathroom plus the hallway, she went ahead and did her business, and then she got up to wash her hands. Well, all of a sudden, she comes running out to get an adult. She's like, there's water everywhere. And I was like, oh, crap, I forgot to tell you about that. Yeah, the sink leaks. And her mom took off after her, and then I took off after her because I didn't know at first, that what was happening. And then I found out because Danielle was like, the bathroom kind of got flooded. I was like, yeah, the sink leaks. I'm sorry. I forgot to warn her. That's my fault. I'll clean it. And so I cleaned it up. And anyway, Danielle was like, yeah, you need to replace that sink. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'll have to do that later on. I'll have to figure out what we're going to do about that later on. Well, her husband thought that it was rotted out, and it might be. I don't know. I looked at it, and it looks rusted, but it's really old. So I'm thinking that if I change the drain, which is what the person at Lowe's, the plumbing expert or whatever, thinks might be the problem because of the pictures that I took of it real close. So I just bought both of these things just in case. He thinks it's this thing, and I'm hoping it's this thing because it looks like it is this thing. But if I'm wrong, I have the other one too. And he says if neither one works, just bring them back and he'll give me a refund for it because apparently Lowe's is just freaking awesome like that. Anyway, so I bought extra sandpaper for my belt sander because you never know if you're actually going to need it. Now, it does come with it, but Lowe's is an hour away. I'm not just driving an hour. If I'm in the middle of a project tonight, if I don't go to bed until 3 in the morning, I want to be able to continue my project and not be like, oh, I'm so close to being done. Crap, my sander just broke. You get what I'm saying? So, or my sandpaper belt, whatever you get what I'm saying. So I bought one coarse one and one fine one, just in case. And they come with 2 belts per pack. Oh God, I hate that sound. Sorry, y'all. And then I know I told you I hated the popcorn ceiling stuff, but I bought some anyway because I really don't want to have to take and scrape this whole ceiling, although I might end up doing that. I don't know yet. Anyway, so that is all I actually got from Lowe's today. But I figured that y'all might be interested in, seeing what I got, what it's for, and, just chatting a little bit. But since that is done, I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye on this video, and I'm immediately going to start another live. So if you want to just join into the other live, please do so. All right, well, with that, bye guys. See you in the next video.